I'm a huge fan of Douglas Murray. He's just a smart customer. He wrote this book, The Strange Death of Europe, which was a big bestseller back in the day, a couple of years ago. And he recently came out with a new book called The Madness of Crowds. Now, he's been doing the whole interview circuit, promoting his book, which is perfectly respectable. He did a bunch of interviews, and I watched a lot of them. And at one point, he said a phrase that struck me, and I thought it was so on point and so revelatory. The phrase he said was, "We are conservative about what we know." Think about it. We are conservative about what we know. He came up with this phrase while discussing the issue of transgenderism and children. And he was saying that, parents in general are very skeptical of the whole transsexual thing insofar as children are concerned, because they know the children so well. Yeah? Which is very, very true. I'm a parent of small children, and I know my children very, very well. And because of it, I'm extremely conservative around them, about them, with them. Because I know them very well, and I know what's really going on a lot of the times. In a way that perhaps some stranger, some doctor, some random person would not understand. It's very true. We are conservative about what we know. And this sentence just got me thinking about a whole bunch of different things. Yeah, let me explain. The first, most obvious one was that in politics, older people tend to be very conservative, and younger people tend to be very liberal. And if you think about it, and you think about the sentence, that we are very conservative about what we know, then it makes absolute sense, because you see, young people don't know shit about life. They don't, because they haven't lived long enough to really learn about life. And older people know shitloads about life because they've been around longer. That's why, that's the motto of this channel. I always say, that I know shit not because I'm smarter than you, but because I've been around longer. Yeah, older people are more conservative because they've seen more of life. They've seen more of life and they understand it more. And they are much more conservative towards some new change or some new bright and shiny thing, because they've seen so many bright and shiny things in the past, so many bright and shiny things that turned out to be disasters. And young people, well, they don't have that experience. They don't have that experience, and so they see the bright shiny thing and they think it's the future and they think it's wonderful. But the older people, more conservative because of experience, reject that thing. And the young people celebrate that thing because of their ignorance. Now, if you think about it, it starts sounding a lot like the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Dunning-Kruger effect, if you don't know, is the phenomenon by which people who know very, very little about something think that they know a great deal about it. And people who actually know a great deal about some particular topic or other feel as if they are very ignorant on that subject. Yeah? Yeah, the more you know something, the more you realize how little you know. Yeah, that's Dunning-Kruger. And that's why a lot of times you'll find the most idiotic ignoramuses pontificating about something that they know absolutely nothing about, because they're ignorant. That's Dunning-Kruger for you, right? And it goes back to this whole notion that the more you know, the more you understand, the more conservative you are. Yeah, liberals always say that conservatives are reactionary. Yeah? The reactionary, what does that imply? That they are, knee-jerk reacting to something. Knee-jerk reacting to something negative. Or reacting to it in a negative way, right? Well, yeah, that's the whole point of conservatism, see? Because you've seen it so many times before. So you don't have to stop and think it over and consider it and scratch your head. No, because you've seen it. Yeah? With experience comes, instant knowledge. The inference has been made. When you see this, you realize it's going to do that. And that's a negative thing, so you don't want it. That only comes from experience. Now, of course, on the other hand, you have older people who are liberal, right? They are a minority, but there are some. And that's why you start to think to yourself that those older people who are liberals are idiots. They are complete idiots. They are morons who should not be allowed to speak in public, quite frankly. Yeah, because they are disregarding their experience, or they have no experience. Yeah, there's that saying, if you're a young person and you're not a liberal, you have no heart. And if you're an old person and you're not a conservative, then you have no brains. Exactly. Okay. I mean, it's all good and fine to feel pity for other people and other causes and what have you. But if you're an older person and you act like a liberal, then you're an idiot. You're an idiot, or you have no experience, or you have been lucky enough to live in a bubble of comfort and privilege. And so you don't understand the reality of life. And so you walk around spewing things that are just stupid. There was this Extinction Rebellion group, right? A bunch of morons, right? And there was this one older lady who had glued herself to some train in London to prevent people from getting on the train and getting to work as a protest, right? And I looked at her and she started talking and everybody was furious around her, right? And she was talking and defending her position. And just 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, not even 1 minute. And you could tell who she was. She was some late middle-aged lady who had never had to work a day in her life, who had never wanted for anything in her life, whose father or husband or ex-husband had supported her in this wonderful, impeccable style. And she had lived in the lap of luxury. You could tell by her accent, by her clothes, even the look on her face, a look of complete and utter privilege. And she was this liberal protesting with these Extinction Rebellion morons, right? About things that they do not know, because they don't. And well, yeah, you see? You see what's going on? I guess what I'm saying is basically, see, if you are a liberal, you're an idiot. Simple as that, okay? And you're a conservative, why? Because you've been around longer and you've seen more. You know more about life, and you know how hard it is. You know how hard it is to earn $1. You know how hard it is to make it in anything. You know how easy it is to lose the valuable things in life. A snap of the fingers, and the things that you most love, the things that you've worked hardest to protect, they can vanish. Death can be sudden, the failure can be apocalyptic, and it can happen in a blink of an eye. And only foolish people and inexperienced people fail to recognize this. You, who presumably know more, ask yourself why you are conservative. Ask yourself, why are you so conservative about things? Why are you so against change for the sake of change? What's going on? Ask yourself. Ask yourself, and I will bet, more likely than not, you will answer because you know how easy it is to lose a good thing.
One of the things that happens in childhood is that you try to work out what is the realm of magic and what is the realm of reality. In your single digits and even into your double digits, you're trying to work out whether the stories are in some way true. Now, in every single case, you learn that the realm of magic is not true. But imagine if the adult world told you, in some realms it is, and that you may not be able to wave a wand and fly, but if you wave a wand, you could become the opposite sex. It's quite straightforward, really. You can choose. You can choose. It's quite easy. People just choose. You could be a boy this, a girl this way. One of the main advocates of this in the US, who I quote in the book, describes this at one point in a hideous account I give. Says at one point, in reaction to the question of, well, what if people then have transitioned and then they don't want it? She says, well, you can get your breasts put back on again. Really?
Yeah.
What are we, Lego?
Yes, I know. It's extraordinary.
What are we made of? But this is the adults lying to children.
Yes.
And I think that Rod is right that this may be a catalyst issue, despite being a minority issue, because there's several things with it. But just one of them is the parents know this isn't true. And, you know, Robert Conquest always said people are conservative about the things they know about.
That's right. Yeah.
Parents know about children. They know about their children.